the latest scam in town. We all know that what a physical arrest really is. God forbid any of us actually ends up there. But what exactly is a digital arrest? We'll tell you that over the next couple of minutes. Now, it's the latest cyber fraud where criminals now impersonate to be police officers and make you believe that you have been implicated in a very serious case on a very serious charge. They will create a sense of urgency, a sense of fear. They might pick up a piece of information, a personal ID might be available publicly, and play along with that. And then they start weaving a story of claims made by that personal ID of yours involved in various legal activities, or to say it could be money laundering, it could be a lot of other cases as well. These criminals then make you and I, the victims, believe that you will be arrested if you don't agree to their demands. And then these perpetrators use very, very sophisticated machinery. They use IVR, they do Skype calls, they pose to be police officers sitting inside a police thana, police station. And then they will ask you in that entire sort of setup that in case you want to get out of it, you have to pay so much money. Now, this is a true story and happening rampantly across the country. So, we had to bring you this scam alert to tell you what not to fall for. We've got a full 360 view on this story, but we'll start with Yash. My colleague Yash Goyal joins us. Hi, morning Yash.
Hi Sonal, good morning.
Some of the details that you shared with me on these cases are scary and yet so believable. It could be happening to any of us. Can you pick out one case that really popped out and that has everybody's attention?
Well, Sonal, let's talk about the very first case of digital arrest which was actually reported in India. And this case comes from Haryana's Faridabad. Can you imagine you just sitting one fine day and you get a call and somebody says you're involved in human trafficking? So this actually happened with a 23-year-old girl hailing from Haryana. So basically what happened on a day like she receives a call, a Skype call from a customs officer sitting in Lucknow saying that we have found around 22 odd passports and they were being sent to Cambodia, and the postal services which was being used, your Aadhaar card was actually linked to that postal services, or at that particular point your Aadhaar card was involved in it. So that charge of human trafficking was levied on that very girl. Obviously she panicked. She wasn't aware what was happening with her.
How did they make it so believable? If I were to get a call like this, I would say, what are you saying?
So the first was the setting. The officer was sitting in a proper, like we see in movies, like we see in TV shows, how a particular setup looks like of a police station or of any CBI officer's setting. So it was in that setting. It was, she was made to believe that an authentic officer, an original officer is calling her to talk about what she has done, which she hasn't done it. So basically she also said, I'll not believe you what you're saying. I want to talk to the police. I want to get a sense exactly what I have done. So what they did, first they opened the video chat and they showed her around that there were many police officers standing right there with all the walkie-talkies.
And this entire thing is a setup.
Entire thing was a setup.
It's like a movie being created.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
And you know, the more, actually, I'll not say the funny part, but what happened was she asked that I want to talk to a police officer there because she was not able to believe that these are custom officers. So, you know, those people directed that call to a police station and that was a fake one. So that entire setup was done, and you know what's more baffling? She was digitally arrested for 17 straight days. That was the...
One second, digitally arrested meaning?
So what happens, like you broke down for us, like what digital arrest is.
So you're on the Skype call?
You're on a Skype call. What the person on the other, the fraudster, they ask you to keep on your video all the time, except if you want to use your washroom or if you want to go meet your family. For that also you need to take their permission. And what they say, If you mute that call when your video is also shut, they'll directly send an officer to your home to arrest you physically. It sounds absurd, but yes, this is happening in India and across the world.
And how many days did you say this happened?
17 straight days.
1 second, hold on. You're saying for 17 days, this girl sat with her Skype call with her video open in front of this entire setup, this very sophisticated gang, one posing to be custom officers, one posing to be a police officer, and all of this went on for 17 days?
Absolutely.
She had no clue what was happening?
She was so scared. You know, when we talk about cyber crimes, the first point which these fraudsters actually exploit is the sense of fear. So that exactly what they did. And not only custom officers and police officer, then later on a CBI officer was also roped in, a fake CBI officer. And actually in this entire scam, around 2.5 lakh rupees were duped from her. And actually they asked for, so this entire scam they said was for around 3.8 crore rupees. So for that 3.8 crore, they said you have to pay 15% of the amount, which turns out to be around 15 lakh rupees. So then what happened? She said, no, I don't have such kind of money. So they said, okay, you pay us in installments. And till the point you pay the entire amount, you have to be on that video call. So that's how this thing unfolded. And you know how it ended? That's more interesting. One day, her house help came to her room asking, Didi, kahan ho aap? Aapke laptop se आवाजें आ रही हैं. She said that कि आपके laptop से आवाजें आ रही है. And then the fraudsters were like, they were on alert कि someone has just entered the room and they might get their entire thing might get busted. And that very point, they ended that very particular video call and they called her again and saying that you're free now, your charges have been evaded and you can just walk away.
That's a little weird. And this is after she had already paid
2.5 lakhs rupees and they were still waiting for 12.5 lakhs.
Wow. Wow. It sounds, I'm taking a minute to sort of comprehend what you've just said and if this were to happen. But this does happen from what we are hearing more and more of these cases. This is just one, perhaps of a several that ends up happening. So we thought we'll also speak to the cops here to understand. I'm sure it's a